Okay, Jailbreak, here we are. I have not been online making a video in a while. Rosh Hashanah, then Yom Kippur, and then I had a LASIK eye surgery, which is an incredibly terrifying thing, and I really can't see very well right now. It's kind of like LASIK without the flap, but we are going into, believe it or not, week 5. Week 5, it's like the league is just flying through, and I want to talk about some highlights. I also want to come up with a game plan of the things that we are going to discuss. One, we'll talk about big winners, maybe big losers, standings, and then talk about my personal matchup for the week. So, 1, go green, big weekend this weekend, and excited for that. Let's talk about league standings for the time being. Number 1 spot, Frank the Tank. Absolutely phenomenal work at 3-1, but also in your power rankings, you're at the top of the board. Victoria's Secret and Brad Land also share that top spot based on record. But here's what's very exciting. The PW Squared Pop Warner Warriors in dead last place. I'm a little nervous for this group. I know that it's been a bit of a hurricane of a season for David, and I'm a little nervous that he won't be able to participate in the Super Bowl whenever that is. It looks like he's got some real struggles on his roster, which is why he continues to send me trades over and over for Ezekiel Elliott, which isn't going to happen, but I appreciate his offers, which I promptly denied several days later when I figured out how to look at them. You're stacked, man, with a bunch of terrible people, which is why you are in last place. All right, let's talk about this week's matchup. Fast EB takes on the Axe. This will be an easy win for me. I'm not even going to trash talk that much based on a few things. One, you don't have anyone good. You remember? You don't have anyone good. Meanwhile, I've got people dropping like flies and sending to the injured reserve. D. Woodhead, I'm not sure what his first name is. Maybe it's Damien. He's been dead to me for a while. I'll just hold on to him because we can. C. Carson, he is a running back. I don't know him at all. I've never even heard of him. And then the big news for me is whether or not to play the misogynistic Cam Newton, Cameron is what I call him, or my boy Eli Manning. I'm a big fan of his brother. I think I'm going to go with Eli because I do not like Cam's comments. I think he's going to be a little bit rattled. I've been watching some Sports Center in the bathroom when I'm using the urinal station, and I saw that he did something not nice to a female reporter. And so for that alone, I think I'm going to bench you. However, as I look at the news here that just came in, he is playing Detroit, so that means he could probably have a pretty big game. So we'll see what's going on there. Moving on, I want to talk about one other big matchup that's going on this week, and that is going to be with Victoria's Secret and Pop Warner Warriors. I am predicting a very large win for Victoria's Secret. I think Elise is going to crush our biggest loser, and I think it's going to come down to a couple of people. It's going to come down to a guy named L. Fitzgerald, whoever that is, and M. Gordon. I think they're going to have a big game, and A. Green. I don't know what your name is, Alshon, Alejandro. I think he's going to do well. All right. I also want to mention a shout out to the Razzacks and the Roughnecks. People that I think are going to do well in this crew is going to be a guy named T. Gurley. I think you're going to have a big game, and I also think that L. Bell is going to have a big game. I don't know if that's going to matter. I think that this is going to be a tough loss for Babs. But he's got a shot at pulling it out. He's got a good team. Depends on what the Lions are going to do, I think. All right. Now, let's go to my favorite segment, which is Trash Talk. Let's pick on Mark Snyder. because personally he's a piece of shit. I was sitting in a committee meeting and we were talking about what we were going to do for our community. We're having a serious conversation, and we got to good and welfare, and he talked about my loss publicly. So let me just tell you a few things, what I think about you, Mark. You're a dirty cum bucket, all right? And I don't appreciate you. I don't think that you know that much about sports, and you were faking it for those 20 years that you were doing analysis, more like anal analysis. All right, let's have an amazing week this week. Sorry, Max, I'm going to destroy you in the league and win, and we're going to kick some ass this week. Thanks, guys.